Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday morning mortgage coach call. Every Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific, we're here to deliver value. My name is Dave Savage. I'm the CEO of Mortgage Coach. If you are new to the Mortgage Coach team, hopefully you've connected with me on LinkedIn, Facebook. We put a recording of this video in our YouTube page every single time, and all of the trainings that we do, our Thursday call, a tremendous amount of content and training in our YouTube page. Also, hopefully you've downloaded our app, both the Rate Watch app and the core Mortgage Coach app. So did want to remind everybody I did a great call with Josh Meadows, Danny, and Scott Cummings last week, and it was all about video. It was about how can, with TRID coming and the way that we're going to need to communicate with buyers and realtors even better than we are today, you know, what does that look like? And so we not only did some very tactical training around how to use the new Mortgage Coach app to create videos, but we talked about different strategies and how you can use it with buyers, with realtors. So if you missed that call and you want to use video to communicate with your buyers and your realtors, which I hope you do, don't miss that call. Today we've got two great guests. I've got Nikki Groff. Nikki, welcome to the call.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. You know, this is the first time I had you back since last year, and I never got to thank you publicly, but your call, while you were one of the top 12 calls last year, so you made the kind of the 2014 Hall of Fame, you were the #1 woman leader in the Mortgage Coach community. So thanks for all your leadership. The three other women was Cindy Ertman, Alicia, the top loan officer in the state of Iowa, and Louise Thaxton. Yeah, so we had a lot of great women leaders in the Mortgage Coach community, and your call was attended the most and watched the most. So thanks for all that.
Oh, that's a great honor. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you back. So to help me open the call, we've got Mr. Steve Harney. You know, Steve and the Bridge Builders program is something that we're very passionate about at Mortgage Coach. You know, I think everybody knows how passionate we are about educating families, about helping them make confident decisions. But to do that, we've got to educate realtors. As mortgage professionals, we need to understand what's happening in the market and how that helps people make confident real estate and confident mortgage decisions. So our goal is once a month to have Steve come out as Bridge Builders announces new insights. He's going to give us a sneak peek at some of those. So Steve, if you wouldn't mind, jump on the call. I'm going to share the desktop with you, or I'm going to let you share your desktop and walk us through what you think is important in the marketplace today for mortgage coaches.
Okay, fair enough. Let me just get to show my screen and let me know when you see it.
And we can see it. Connecting the dots.
Yes, there we are. Well, hello everyone. This is Steve Harney. What I want to do is just give you one quick point that we went over in this month's edition of Bridge Builders. As prices are really in many parts of the country skyrocketing, and as interest rates start to tick up, you know, I think we're going to get a lot of pushback about, well, maybe it's better to rent than to buy. Let's, you know, take a look at that as far as expenses are concerned. And what we believe at Bridge Builders very strongly is that we have to make sure that the consumer really understands what's happening, because there could be certain data that's put out there, and at Bridge Builders, we always look at data as dots, and we love Seth Godin's quote. It's not about having the most data or the most dots. It's about connecting those dots to the consumer. So we already know that according to the Joint Center of Housing Studies at Harvard University, one of the major reasons people purchase a home is they really believe in the fact that homeownership starts to build family wealth. And we want to really emphasize that, especially June being National Home Ownership Month and everything that's taking place. We want to really quantify what that means. And again, at Bridge Builders, we don't like to just talk about like our opinions on things. We like to back those opinions up. And we love this quote from W. Edwards Deming: without data, you're just another person with an opinion. So we like to try to give the Bridge Builders the data that they really need and the information that they need to share with their realtor partners to make them as powerful as they can be. So here's the perfect example. Actually, this is from NAR. We just got this information, but for 2010 and 2013, it's the Federal Reserve that does a study every 3 years comparing the family wealth of homeowners versus renters. So see, in 2010, that was the comparison the Federal Reserve came out with. 2013. What NARD did this year is, instead of waiting until next year to see what the numbers were, they projected what the numbers would be at the end of this year. And what we can see, the families that are renting, their net worth barely moves. But the people who are homeowners are increasing their net worth and their family worth. An easier way to look at that might be this slide here, where we really see the jump from 2010 to 2015 went from $182,000 to $218,000, the difference. As a matter of fact, the increases in net worth for the homeowners is greater than the entire net worth. The increase is greater than the entire net worth of the renter. And we see that continuing to move forward. One of the things we like to look at is the Home Price Expectation Survey, which projects where prices are going to be over the next 5 years. So we took a house, someone bought a house at $250,000, and I know there are people on this call that you're selling houses for half that amount, and I know there's some people on this call that you have to add a zero to that. But just as a concept, we took a look at if the Home Price Expectation Survey, those 100 experts are right and where they project prices are going to be going over the next 5 years, a family buying a house January of this year would have increased the net worth by almost $50,000. So we like to give them a lot of different ways, the mortgage professionals, a lot of different ways to hand off to their realtors how to explain why buying a house now is so crucially important, whether they're a first-time home buyer or a move-up buyer. And then there was just a recent study just a couple of weeks ago done by Move.com where they talked about the cost of waiting to buy. And they took the average house in this country and they looked at where they thought interest rates were going to go, where they thought prices were going to go. And this is what was the conclusion of their study, that nationally the estimated wealth an average buyer would accumulate over a 30-year period purchasing a house now would be well over $200,000. But the more interesting thing to me is how much they would lose in 1 year and how much they would lose in 3 years by not buying, which are the other two graphs. Now, I know studying human psychology because I've been a realtor for 35 years, the fear of loss is a much bigger influencer than the opportunity to gain. We could talk about, what the advantages are of doing something, but people kind of move on the fear of loss when they know how much they're about to give up by not taking an action. So I took those last two graphs and just put it into a separate slide, all right, those last two bars, because I think this is much more powerful. If a person waits, if a family waits to buy, their family loses over $18,000 just in the first year on an average house, assuming normal appreciation and what they projected, what Move.com projected interest rates would be by the end of the year. And over a 3-year period, they lose over $50,000 in family wealth. All right, so the family wealth part is very, very important to me. So even though prices are going up, we want to let them know that that's an advantage to them if they get in now. And we always end with the same thing. We say, well, there is an alternative. You can pay rent, and we know what's going to happen with that. Either way, you're paying somebody's mortgage. You're either paying your own mortgage and creating wealth, or you're paying a landlord's mortgage and helping your landlord create wealth. That was a snippet on that one subject we covered this month, and I wanted to give that out. And Dave, I hope with those slides people get the understanding that now jumping into the mortgage piece of it, the mortgage coach piece of it, we've set them up that, for a great rent versus buy analysis and going forward with that.
Well, I appreciate you bringing these insights for everybody in the mortgage coach community. It will help make the case of owning versus renting. And everybody on this call, there's two things that I think are action items from what Steve just shared. You should know how to create a mortgage coach rent versus own, so you can take these facts and stats and present them to a family so they understand the value of owning over renting. And also the why buy now. So Steve has all the facts and insights to what I would just call power your mortgage coach TCA, so that you can break this down one family at a time, both online with your marketing, in your personal conversations using his tools, and then of course creating the mortgage coach and delivering them one family at a time. So Steve, for anybody and everybody that wants to learn more about bridge builders and be on the bridge builders team, how would they learn more?
All they would need to do is go to bridgebuilderskcm.com, bridgebuilderskcm.com, and they can get a little more information there. And I do want everyone on the call to know that if you're a mortgage coach client and you contact us, and you can contact me directly at steve@steveharney.com, we kind of roll out the red carpet to every one of our clients. We believe in that pretty strongly. But what we told everyone here at the office, the whole staff, is if someone from Mortgage Coach connects with us, let's make sure we vacuum that carpet after we roll it out. So we're going to try to give you even greater service there. So just let us know that, in fact, you are a Mortgage Coach client, and again, we'll give you that extra concierge service that you need. Again, my email address is steve@steveharney.com. I want to handle any Mortgage Coach clients' questions directly, so don't be afraid to use that. That's my email address. If my wife wants to talk to me about going on vacation, that's the email address she sends the information to. So that's directly to me.
All right, Steve. Well, hey, I'd love to have you stay on the call as we go through Nikki's, marketing strategies and how she runs things. Feel free to ask her any questions along the way. But Nikki, you are up to bat. Before you share some of the ideas that you have and you walk us through your story, anything you want to say about bridge builders or how you integrate it into your mortgage practice?
I started with the first group of bridge builders with Steve, and it really changed my marketing vision. One of the things we were able to do actually is we co-marketed with an agent from a management company, and actually target marketed their rental properties, so their apartment complexes, and we utilized Steve's slides on rent versus owned. I mean, our team utilizes bridge builder slides all the time, but this subject was so important to us, especially with integrating the Mortgage Coach's edge graphs on those rent versus owned. And what we do is we send out the marketing material to some of the apartment complexes that have rents that are close to what a mortgage payment would be every month, right around the first of the month, when they literally have to write that rent check out. And it's a 12-month marketing campaign that we co-market with that agent, and it's really, really increased our application volume.
Love it. Great strategy, great idea. Thanks for sharing. So Nikki, last time we did a call, it was all about your team. And a couple of things that I remember are one, how much you do with the team, so how you delegate every step of the process. Also the fact that so many of your borrowers, I don't know what percentage it is now, but I remember a year ago, I mean, it was, I think 95% come into your office, and I love the way you were using Mortgage Coach, because you not only had what I would call an in-office live experience, but then you were, this is what you did and this is what you give them as they leave your office. So, today, things have changed. Your role with Wallach and Bulk has changed. So, first of all, why don't you bring us up to speed on your mortgage practice, because there could be some people that didn't hear that last call or don't know your mortgage practice. Okay. And let's try to one, share what you do as a team, and as you've evolved your career as a marketing leader within the company, let's break that down.
Sure. Well, my team consists of 4 licensed originators, and when I say licensed originators, they don't originate loans, but I think it's important that everyone is licensed on the team and is educated. And so one of the things that we really try to communicate to our agents and our referral partners and our clients is what really sets us apart from our competition. And everyone on the team has their own tasks and duties, and so that way there's not too many hands, on a file, and we don't know what's going on. Everyone could literally sit down and have a consultation with a client, but that's not necessarily their role on our team. So I'd like to start with maybe what I consider is important to us, an important focus. And there are a lot of really great ideas out there to accomplish this, but I thought I could share just maybe a few of ours. So these next few slides are kind of a snapshot of what our team brochure looks like. And we send this out to the buyer's agent and the listing agent when a contract's been received, if we don't typically do business with that agent, so they can really understand how our team has been positioned. And so this first slide here is showing you We're one team with 4 licensed originators, and our goal is their success. The next slide here shows our values, and I think it's, branding is really important, and it's what makes you different. And for our team, our core values are important to us, and it's important for us to share those with our clients and our real estate agents and our referral partners, because trust is needed to have a successful transaction, and we think that's important to communicate those values to everyone that we work with. And so I just kind of listed these here for you guys so you could see what that looks like. The next inside the brochure is our benefits and services. Inside this brochure, it's a simple list, but it's what we believe is important communication and what are truly our benefits and services that we provide. And it's customary to our clients and to our agents, but it's also what sets us apart. So the big thing is I believe you can have the best team that's out there, but if you're not almost tooting your own horn or communicating that with your community, sometimes it gets lost. The next is I kind of put together our priorities on our team. It's that time again to kind of look back at our business plans for 2016. I usually do that in September and October, right around Sales Mastery, but now with TRIG coming around August 1st, we had decided to kind of revamp our 2015 file flow and marketing and business plan. And these are just a few of our priorities that we feel that are important. Our systems, making sure that we have that conveyor belt. Our team branding, we're always working on our team branding. What kind of marketing campaigns are we going to have? And we've already implemented some of those just around TRIG. Also, any kind of events that we think that we want to go ahead and get put on our calendar. What is our communications going to look like with our clients and our agents? What scripts and forms are we going to use to make sure there's some consistency behind that? And then how are we going to utilize some of our vendors and toolbox in regards to our marketing by direct mail and email? What is our web presence going to look like in social media? Because that's really our clients' first impressions of us. And then again, are we compliant? Because that's such a big piece of the puzzle right now.
Hey, Nikki, real quick. So just so I understand, so the first couple slides were from your brochure. Is that like one page? How many, kind of describe your brochure and how you deliver it? Obviously you deliver it live, printed, but do you also deliver it as a PDF?
Yeah, it's a trifold. So we got it done, with a nice publisher. I don't like to sit there and trifold all of my brochures. Of course, I outsource that. But it's a trifold that we go ahead and once we get that contract in on our client, we take a look who, we typically already know who the buyer's agent is, but we'll look and see who the listing agent is. If we've had communications with them before, if they're new. So we'll just do a real quick introductory call to both agents if we don't know them. And then we'll just put a brochure in the mail. I know that it's probably cheaper to do it by a PDF and by email, but our agents nowadays get so many emails and they just really don't want to get that lost. So we just put it in the mail with a simple handwritten note, letting them know it was nice speaking with them, and we're looking forward to a successful transaction.
Okay, well I think that's good to distinguish. Do you ever send it as a PDF, or is the only way you ever give it to anybody is to print it and either mailed or in person?
I've never sent that brochure as a PDF. We have some other ones that we have set aside for that.
Okay, well, no, it's good to know. I want to make sure we're really breaking down the experience that you create for people and how you're differentiating. And then just to be clear now, we've kind of transitioned. So the slide we're looking at right now is more of an internal, kind of planning, marketing document that you're showing. This is not something that you would actually show a realtor, or is this something that you show?
No, this is for us internally. One of the things, with the theme of, what sets us apart from our competition is who we are and how we conduct our business and making sure that we have a plan in place. In this business, I feel that if you don't have a plan, this business will run you ragged and this industry will. So making sure that we're in charge of our file flow versus our file flow being in charge of us.
Got it. Well, I know, first of all, everybody, Nikki did a lot of preparation to deliver just great, concise value for the mortgage coach community. So the way I would describe what we're doing right now is almost like a virtual site visit. It's as though we're, Nikki's put together this site visit for us. Some of what we're going to see is actual things that she gives to the families and to the realtors, and some of it are things that she either has as a marketing leader for a company. So, Nikki, as you're going through these slides, if you could distinguish when something is client-facing and it's part of either your realtor presentation or your borrower presentation, just kind of call that out so we can distinguish the difference. But you're doing a great job, and let's keep unpacking your business.
All right.
This is Steve again. I just want to say one thing. One of the things that Nikki has done a phenomenal job of, and I do know her for a couple of years now, she builds a culture within her organization, and that's what she's explaining right now. And that culture emanates through every person that works on her team, including her, right through to the client and to the realtor partners. So what she's going over right now is how she establishes that culture. And ladies and gentlemen on the call, it is a phenomenal culture. There is a power to making sure that everyone's marching to the same drum, and Nikki does a phenomenal job of building that culture. And that means that a buyer coming in to any client coming into her realm is being treated the same way by all of her team, with the same concepts, with the same integrity. So that culture building is an important part of what Nikki does, and I do believe it's a tremendous piece for success.
Thank you. Well, and I do believe, starting with the systems, like you just said, consistency is important to our team. These are some of what I consider insights of the rhyme and reason of why we do what we do. And we have non-negotiable daily disciplines built into our team system. And that non-negotiable word actually came from Linda Davison. I heard that and I said, oh, I have to take that back to my team, because it is, when you set up tasks and job duties and you delegate, no one likes to micromanage, and no one likes to be micromanaged. So if everyone on the team understands that these are non-negotiable daily disciplines, and they get done, if it's through checklists for building habits, then you don't have to micromanage those type of things being the lead on the team. And it's important for us that every borrower's file moves through the system the same way every time. And identifying how we do this is I like to identify what my responsibilities are as an originator, as if I was the only person on my team. What is every single thing that I have to do in order to have a successful transaction? And then when I started to build my team and started to hire loan coordinators and assistants, I had to look at what type of responsibilities that I have that I know are, I have a weakness to that. I'm not good at doing those tasks. And it's that's really what I took, and I assigned those tasks to the team member who excelled in those areas. So instead of hiring a team member that was just like me, I hired a team member that excelled in areas where maybe I did not. And then from there, we identified the team members' roles to set those expectations and have that accountability, so we didn't have to have the micromanaging on the team. You sent this over to me, Dave, and I thought it was. I read this and I was like, I have to share this with everyone else, because it is understanding that with TRID, Mortgage Coach is powering the more critical touch points within the perfect loan process of managing the borrower and realtor's experience. And with Mortgage Coach and utilizing Edge and implementing that into your systems and making sure that your file flow happens to where every file that goes through that transaction is being done the same way every single time, helps give that experience to your clients and to your real estate agents, and helps set those expectations. A lot of our referring real estate agents like utilizing our team because they know what's going to happen throughout the transaction. They know when we're going to be communicating with them. They know when we're going to be communicating with our customers, because it's built in the system so that it happens the same way every time. And with that comes our scripts and forms. So all of this that I'm showing you right now is really what we use internally. We don't go out to our agents and show them our scripts and forms. If they've done enough transaction with us, they probably already have picked up on that. But we really don't write our own scripts, and we don't create our own forms. I'm a big believer in swiping and adapting what other people are using, and maybe tweaking it a little bit so that we can utilize those templates in our system, and then definitely having those checklists so that the checklists are really there to help create habits. And again, like I believe every file needs to be able to go through the system the same way every time. And when you have a larger team, we typically will utilize the checklist at the beginning of creating new habits. And then after we've gone through the process enough times, we kind of put the checklist aside. But it's also a good template and tool when you're bringing on new team members from a training standpoint as well. So Mortgage Coach has been working on scripts, and I already have, I know that some are already available. Dave, do you want to touch on this? I mean, I've already kind of swiped and adapted a few of them that I'm going to share with everyone today, but.
Yeah, let me say something real quick. So folks, one of the things we've been working hard on, first of all, there's been some product enhancements that we've done to prepare a mortgage coach for TRID. I mean, our mission and vision is to help families make more confident decisions, but to do that, we need to help the loan officer, deliver better education and advice. And I think the thing with TRID, you guys have heard me talk about it now for weeks, is that the bar has raised in how we're going to communicate with the buyer and, call it the family and the agent. They need to be more in the loop. So what I've been doing for the past couple months is, connecting with Nikki, with the Josh Meadows, with the Gaylord Hanson team, with Jeremy, and figuring out, where are the touch points that we need to have a different conversation. We need to, what we say to the family needs to be a little different in order to make TRID a competitive advantage, which, by the way, I mean, that is my goal. I do believe that thousands of realtors are going to change their relationship over the next 90 days. So they're working with one loan officer today. It's going to be a different one 90 days from now. And my goal is that I want mortgage coaches to net gain the most. I want you guys to pick up all the new realtors because they are going to be, there's going to be musical chairs. Let's face it, when sales process change, when regulation drives change, they're going to change relationships. So the goal is that you guys are going to have an advantage with realtors. So that means we need some new scripts. And so Nikki and I did do some prep. While we provided some leadership, what you're going to see now is how Nikki has integrated that into her sales process, into her workflow. Next week with Ken Perry, I'm going to unpack what I call the mortgage coach sales process and scripts, and really just a gift to the mortgage coach community for you guys to swipe and adapt and make it yours. So Nikki, feel free. I mean, really, as you unpack this is yours. You don't need to give us credit. What gives us credit is when you use a mortgage coach total cost analysis to help a family make a confident decision. That's when we win. Everything that are in these scripts, it's our gift to you just to help you do your job better and prepare faster. So let's see what you're doing and see what you added.
Well, this is an example of what our process was before TRID, kind of what we do today. And I'm going to share with you what we're working on for post-TRID. And for example, our email communication, this is our non-negotiable daily disciplines that went out. With that said, we had, and TRID coming, we really had to take a look at how our file flow is going to take place. And so here's a graph showing the file flow of our mortgage process now post-TRID and what we see that we need. Obviously, we're going to have to try it out and make changes here and there as we go. But for right now, this is kind of what we put together in regards to making sure that we're utilizing our touch points from a communication standpoint and all of our tools that we have. I want to go through this in sections for you. So let me break this down into groups, starting with marketing and selling. With our team, typically clients come through as a referral or a past client. And so that's really where our first impression is. So whenever we have a referral, we always have a thank you script that goes out to that referring partner. You can do it as an email, you can do it as a video, but it's really, we want to make sure as soon as we get off that call that we're communicating that to that referral partner. We don't want them to call us the next day and say, did Mr. and Mrs. Jones call you? It's so embarrassing. So that's part of it's a simple implementation of in our file flow, but it's very, very important to us. The next bar graph says first impressions, and that's actually, I utilized one of the mortgage scripts with the bars, and I'll share that with you along with the first appointment script and then our to be determined video with the loan options that we utilize in Edge. So for example, this is just a real simple thank you for referring. You can do it as an email or a video. And then this is our phone script for increasing our service value and referrals. This is part of our first impression. So typically when a client calls in, I might be in a consultation with that client and not able to take that call. So this has been scripted so that anyone on the team that's taking that call can speak with the client, give them the first impression of our team, and our goal is to get their preliminary information so that we can schedule that consultation with myself. And so we took one of your scripts actually, Dave, and then we just added to the very bottom of it, do you have 10 minutes so I can take some preliminary information? We literally, when we get a referral and they call in, try to convert that phone call into a 1003, into a TBD. So that's our goal from the team standpoint. And then next that goes out is we do an email script that has a video as well. And it's just the first appointment reminder. This is the scripting that we have. This is stuff that we did prior to, that we've been doing now prior to TRED that we're going to still bring over. We don't send out, I know some people send out the edge at this point. I like to send out the edge after I've spoken with the client. And so this is just an example of our first reminder needs list that we share with the client. The next is we go ahead and I meet with the client and have that consultation with them. I'm able to build trust with them. I'm able to I actually have a screen that's on my wall that they can look at the edge presentation. I'll go through all the cost analysis. We'll look at a lot of different options. Every client's just a little different on how we do that. But then after we're done with our consultation, I have one of my loan coordinators send out that edge presentation to the client. So it's something that they can hold on to. And hopefully we've had that conversation where they're comfortable that I share this with their real estate agent. So that's one piece of the consultation that I want to make sure that I have that okay from the client that I can share it with the agent. And then that's a nice phone call right there to the agent once we've been able to send out the edge consultation or presentation to both the bar and the agent, is to pick up the phone and call the agent and just discuss what happened in that consultation and what type of property to look at. This client can't buy a condo, or please stay away from manufactured homes. If you're going to be in the rural area of northern Arizona and you're going to write a contract on a log home, make sure I have 2 comps. Just some pieces of that conversation that I've had with the bar and sharing it with the agent. So the next part on the graph here is going to be what we consider the back end. And so now the contract's been received, we send out a process video. We set up a consultation with the client, so they come back again. I meet with them face-to-face. At this time, we have a script. We want to make sure that we improve our service with the bar. And then after we're done with the consultation, that's when we're going to be sending out that LE, so that loan estimate. And also with that loan estimate, we're going to be sending out a mortgage coach ed presentation that we had already discussed in that consultation when the contract came in. But just a reminder on what TIP and the 5-year total cost analysis is, because the LE is definitely making sure that those borrowers are seeing what that looks like. So coming down here, this is really in this process when we have the contract, we want to make sure that we're giving our agents the best service possible. So this is one of our non-negotiable daily discipline checklists where once the contract's been received, we update the emails, we send them to the agents, we call them, they get a call from the mortgage advisor introducing ourselves, we send out that team brochure that I talked about listing our benefits. And then also one of the things that we do is we do send out a flyer to the agent utilizing their current listings, using that Edge software program that you have. It's really simple, it's really easy, it's something that my loan coordinators can do right away, and we send it out. Now, you have to look to make sure that they have listings. But if they do, we want to show them how we can help them from a marketing standpoint. So the next is the phone script to the agent. Once we're doing this and we're calling our agents and giving them the update, this is just a little script that we like to give to them, letting them know that they're working with true professionals. We strive to close fast, efficient, on time, and hassle-free. You don't have to worry about the financing of your client's transaction. When we close a loan, we have 100% control of the process. It never leaves our hand. That gives you the flexibility to concentrate on the real estate process and providing your client with the trusted real estate advice. And to be honest with you, one of the reasons we wrote it this way is because we don't want them meddling in the mortgage side of things. We don't want them giving mortgage advice to our clients. We want them to be giving real estate advice to our clients. So it's a polite way of saying that.
I love the way you're breaking it down one script at a time. I mean, great job on this. Tremendous leadership to the mortgage coach community. By the way, a lot of folks have been asking questions about, hey, can I get these slides? Steve Harney has given permission for all of his slides to be uploaded. Nikki also, provided this. If you look in the GoToMeeting, there's a little section called handouts, and we have uploaded, our calendar for events. Every month we'll start posting that. So within the GoToMeeting right now, you can download these slides via PDF. So for all the people that keep asking those questions, I'm going to assume everybody sees it, has it. If you do have more questions, let us know. I'll be monitoring the question section of GoToMeeting. But go ahead, Nikki.
All right. Well, this is just the example of the Edge listing flyer that we can send out and co-brand for them. We like the ones that say the sales price is $995,000 versus $67,000. So right. Next we have is our email script with our process video, and this goes out once we receive our contract. So the one thing that we want to do is, and we do have some of this highlighted in yellow to make sure, because real estate agents typically only like, and a lot like loan officers, because I have this fault as well, I only read the first sentence of an email. So we do highlight portions of it, please inform us immediately if there's anything unique about the property. But we do list out the important information that is on the contract. We send it out to the listing agent, the buyer's agent, the customer, and the escrow officer, especially with TRED coming into play here. Our escrow officers are going to be really, really important to us in making sure that we're all on a team together. And right now, the real estate agents really drive who the escrow officer is, and I kind of see that changing with TRED. I think we're going to have a little bit more power from the lending community of letting our agents know who we want to work with, because it's going to be so important to get those transactions closed with the new, with the new flow that we have to utilize and the waiting periods that are there. So building those relationships with your escrow officers right now, and I think we'll be able to see a lot more referrals from them, just like we do with agents because of TRED.
I love that. I think that's a takeaway for everybody, by the way. I don't know how many folks have really thought of that. Where is the puck going, both in terms of what the conversation looks like with the borrower, and then you just made a really good point. The escrow agent becomes, a different type of partner and possibly a better referral partner. So yeah, hopefully everybody connected the dots on that.
So this is just the phone or the face-to-face script that we have once the contract is received and we're having our contract received consultation. And it's just one of the things that differentiates me from most lenders is that I use the total cost analysis and a video to show you how to potentially save tons and thousands of dollars during the life of your loan, and help you become debt-free faster. So I explained to them, today we're going to review your previous options and choose the mortgage plan to move forward with. Our team will also follow up with sending you the presentation with a quick video reminding you of what we discussed today in your consultation. And it's interesting because what I've seen is you can see how many views you have on your Edge presentations. We have more views on when they picked a plan than the TBD video when we've given them 3 options that we've discussed. And I find that very interesting.
Well, I'm guessing that the options are the options, and then once they've picked it, they're more sharing it with trusted friends, families, and advisors. That this is what we're doing, and they're watching it once or twice, husband, wife, make sure they really get it, and then they're sharing it with other people. I mean, do you think that's it?
I do. I think that is it, and I think that now it's become real to them that they've gotten a contract, and this is really what they're going to be focused on, is what are those true numbers going to be now?
Yeah, well, again, it'll be interesting to see what happens once TRED comes out, but I really believe, well, Mortgage Coach has always been used for the rent versus own, the TBD, the, hey, I'm picking between 2 loan programs. I think it will be very interesting, now that we've got 2 disclosures, we've got the LE, we've got the CD, there's a lot more definition around how they're delivered, when they're delivered. And Mortgage Coach, I think some of these touch points on the backside, where we're, if there's a change of circumstance, to help make the closing smoother. I think those might end up being some of the most valuable touch points with Mortgage Coach. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Nikki?
Oh, absolutely. It's funny. We do some refinances. It's not really our primary focus, but we want to take care of our past clients. And appraisals never come in what you think they're going to come in at. I mean, you're always having to redo your, change of circumstance, change your loan amount. And so it's really nice to be able to have the edge presentation where you have their current mortgage and you're having to update it because when that appraisal comes in, it changes that loan amount. And they're being able to see, instead of showing them the difference of what it is now versus what we thought it was going to be before the appraisal comes in, we really focus on what it is now that the appraisal came in and what you're currently paying, so they can focus on the difference there.
Yeah, great way to leverage the platform to save a phone call and save some phone tag and make sure everybody's in the loop. So I love it.
So the next section of our marketing experience here is going to be once that LE's gone out, we have a Mortgage Coach script that we kind of swiped and adapt from you guys that we're going to have with the real estate agent. And then we have our appraisal scripts because now we're going into processing and underwriting. So to increase the total cost analysis value, this is a script that you had actually sent over to me, and then we added some things to it. But again, with permission from the borrower, we like to CC the agent on the tip and the 5-year cost analysis, and when we're having to do those updates and send them out. But this is saying realtor and working with me. One of the key things that I can't say that word, Jay, that makes me different than from most lenders is I'm not just a typical loan officer. I work with clients as a trusted advisor utilizing the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis with a video to show our mutual clients and make them confident on the decisions that and I like to show this so that it can potentially save them tons and thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. So basically, we're having that same conversation that we had with the borrower with that real estate agent, because it's nice when you have an agent that's on your side. And so when you're communicating with your client and you're communicating with that real estate agent in the same fashion, we're both on the same track together. We're working on the same plan. And the other thing that I like to talk to them about is that we've talked to, they have financial plans that they've already implemented with their CPA and their financial planner. So we do this presentation and analysis to ensure that we're working together to meet our clients' needs. We don't want to go on a different direction utilizing a mortgage that's not going to complement their plans that they've already put together with their financial planners and with their CPAs. And we explain that because this is the decision that the borrower has decided to take, with that real estate agent. And it actually helps build trust. So these are just, the scripts. Obviously, I know that a lot of you guys probably already utilize this, just making sure that it goes to the listing agent, the buyer's agent, the borrower. We have a couple different ones that go just out to all parties versus just the buyer. And then we want to make sure that the numbers and everything, when it comes into the value, that goes to the borrower, not to the listing agent or the buyer's agent. But next we have on here is the loyalty side of the experience. And this is where we come in with, we're going to have the new closing disclosure, which is called the CD. We think implementing a closing video and edge is going to be beneficial here to go along with that CD. And then we also have the Mortgage Coach script of the lifelong service, docs the title, and then now your loan's been funded. So this is the script on the increased lifelong service levels and lifetime for referrals, is that we're just communicating with our borrowers after we close your loan. My job is to ensure that you always have the right loan. I'll update your total cost analysis video over time, and if we have any major changes with interest rates, I'll also be able to update your total cost analysis annually to help you reduce your interest costs and help you become debt-free faster. And it sets us up for when we put them into our CRM once they're a past client, and when we're going to be calling them for that annual review, or when rates fall and it's time to refinance, or maybe property values have increased and we can get rid of their mortgage insurance. This conversation helps us get set up for that. So, and then we have
I just wanted to add, if you go back to that script real quick,
sure.
I think this is going to be one of those touch points that just adds massive value, massive differentiation, and lots of referrals. So, just make sure everybody's connecting the dots. The loan closed. and now you're putting in some options that, hey, if you paid an extra $100, an extra $200, how much faster you could pay off your mortgage. Or let's say that it was a client who got PMI, and you put in, if you prepay your mortgage, you might be able to pay off your PMI faster. Or this may be a family that said, hey, our goal is to buy a bigger home in 5 years. So when you create that closing TCA, you're speaking to whatever their goals were. If you paid an extra $200 towards your mortgage, you would have more equity and accelerate your opportunity to buy that bigger home. So I do believe that this could become, if not the most valuable touch point within Mortgage Coach, certainly one of them when it comes to increasing referrals and just raising your service level to a family. So I just hope everybody connected the dots on this. We will be doing training around this particular touch point. If you're confused, come to our Thursday call. We'll be able to speak to this in a little more detail. Also, I heard from my training team, they messaged me during the call, we are going to focus on rent versus own and why buy now at this week's Thursday call at 9 o'clock. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure everybody really connected it. Steve, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, and this is just great stuff. It's unbelievable stuff. But where I think there's another big push forward is on the realtor side of the whole thing, with the home ownership rate still continuing to drop a little bit. There's going to be a big push about home ownership and what it really means to wealth inequality and things like that. So I think that everything that Nikki just talked about, there was two great things about what Nikki just talked about. Number one is she was talking about how to use your house how to best use your house to build family wealth, whether it be a move up, whether it be pay down, pay down the mortgage or move up into your home in 5 years, as you just mentioned. And the second thing that really was a big eye-opener to me is it really talks about the importance of homeownership itself, and that is a major push forward from the realtor side that you're going to see over the next 12 to 18 months. So I think that those two things tie in magnificently. And the last thing I just want to say, I love, Nikki, what you did when you put it across the bottom, that graph you showed where part of it's marketing, then it goes to selling, then it goes to the event itself, then it goes to the lifetime experience. That was brilliant the way you did that. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to steal that myself and bring it into Bridge Builders.
You can steal it from me because I already stole it from Dave.
Oh, all right. Well, whoever, I'm not going to give credit to anybody. I'm going to say I made it up, but it's going to be.
Yeah. Hey, we do this call as a public service, so it's all good. But hey, Nikki, I just had another idea as Steve was talking. Obviously this touch point is a script with the borrower, but think about with realtor partners when you're describing your unique process that you tell them, hey, at the close of escrow, after the loan's closed, I'm providing this, and it's a push into building wealth through real estate. And not only I think is it obvious that this touch point will increase referrals, it's obvious that this touch point will increase the chance that family is going to buy another home sooner or buy an investment property. So I think this is a tangible touch point. I'm not saying you want to describe it to every realtor, but I think you want to really bring this that I've got a touch point that no other loan officer is doing, that it's going to make every referral to me, it's going to turn that one referral into multiple referrals. Let me show you how. So something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as trade happens, we're going to find a lot of touch points and a lot of opportunity to further differentiate from average LOs and to further add value to both realtors and families. I mean, I think it's net, it's going to be a great thing for the loan officers that are really paying attention and the loan officers that are willing to change their sales process the way you have. So anyways, I know we've only got about 10 minutes left, and I know you've got some more slides and scripts, so keep it rocking.
Well, and like you said, with the touch points, I think that as TRID, as August 1st comes around and real estate agents are going to get really nervous, the more communication, the better, just to make sure that they don't feel like they're in a black hole. This is the email script that goes along with the lifelong video that we send out. We're sending this out when we send out the CD, and then we have our Edge presentation. We are looking at maybe updating this so that, we've updated it when we got the contract received. We'll update Edge once we get to our final numbers, so it's going to match this email. But one of the reasons why I want to do that in this part of the system is because of the annual review that's going to come up. If we're able to update Edge, because it saves forever, with the actual numbers that they closed their loan with, it's going to save us time when we do our annual reviews. So I figured, why not just go ahead and resend out that Edge presentation with our final numbers for them, with the closing script. And then at that point, you know, obviously once we've gone over all the final numbers and they're comfortable, we'll send out to all third parties that the documents have been sent to title. And then we'll have just a real quick email and video script that the loan's been funded. I think it's important, like you said, there's some touch points when you do a video. You know, did I mention the borrower's names? Did I mention the referral source? And I think that this video right here might be really important for us to do. We used to just send out an email, and I'm going to be changing that a little bit to get a little bit better impact, I think, when we send out a video. So I stole this from you again, Dave, and I've shared this with my team. But these here are really good checkpoints when you're doing the videos. You actually had one of your representatives come to our LO rally, and this is the document that he shared with us, and it was a real eye-opener. You know, we're mortgage lenders. You know, we're not used to being in front of a camera all the time and making sure that the communication is going through the way that it needs to. And so it's nice to hear those statistics that you guys have of, you know, what's working, what's not working, what makes your video statistically going to be able to, you know, be watched or viewed more than others. And so I just wanted to share this with everybody. And then again, after every video that we do and every email that we do, we are an origination team of 4 licensed originators. So we brand our email signature. We want them to feel comfortable with any person that they call. When I call into a business, I can't stand to get voicemail. It's my biggest pet peeve. So the worst thing I could do is to send my clients to voicemail. So one of the things that we make sure that we do is that if a call comes in, someone from the team is going to be answering that call. And even if it's not the person that has been assigned to your file, or you can't get a hold of myself, I want them to feel comfortable that they can still ask the questions. And if they don't know the answer, they can research it and get back to them. Or they can put them on the person's calendar to give them a call back. But at least I'm not going to lose them to my competition because it went to voicemail. And then, I talked about websites and social media, and I talked about what our borrowers' first impressions are. You know, what do we look like out there? And it's more and more important, especially with the new generations coming up, and we're spending a lot of time educating ourselves in each one of these web presence. And then we also lean very heavily on our toolbox to help execute our business plan. So these are just some of the vendors that we are corporately have approved and we utilize, and I swipe and adapt a lot of things from these guys here. But that's really what I put together to share with you guys today. I don't know if you have any questions or.
Well, the questions are pouring in. I don't know that we're going to have time to get to all the questions. I will try to get to some of the questions here in a minute. If you can confirm that you can see my screen, Nikki.
Yes.
Okay, good. So a couple things. In the handout section, go to meeting. You've got all the slides from today. Also, we have a script kit, call it pre-tread, that we put in there. Now, again, we've promoted that many times, so I'm hopeful that everybody on the call already has that script kit. But that, those advanced scripts in the handout section, you can download those, and we will be updating those. I'm not going to promise that they'll be updated by next week, but I will promise that we'll continue to update those between now and August 1st. But, as you guys know, we've done a couple calls with Mitch. We've got another call coming, and I think it's really clear that how we communicate is more important than ever. The experience that we give to the family, it's going to be a new opportunity to differentiate. So, what you're seeing, what you just saw was Nikki's sales process, and we just want to give as much leadership to you guys as possible. So every time we hear a great idea, we're adding it to both our scripts and our sales process. I think I'm going to add another version of this, because right here, this is all of the touch points for the borrower. Nikki, I think we need to, whether it's the same sales process or a different one, we need to, where are we touching the realtor? Where are we giving, like we know at the TBD, we're looping in the realtor, assuming we have the borrower's permission. And then in this call, we kind of came up mutually with the idea of describing to the realtor the closing, how we're providing leadership around home ownership. So I think we need a sales process that includes the realtor touch points with Mortgage Coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think it's clear that everybody on this call, as a mortgage coach, if you're providing a total cost analysis, if you're adding video to it, you have an unfair advantage. You have an ability to communicate in front of the disclosures in a superior way. And while the disclosures need to be done the way they need to be done, Mortgage Coach can help you communicate outside the disclosures in a way that's compliant and in a way that helps the borrower and the family make a confident decision. So, these are some of the scripts that we've identified. So anybody on this call, that if you create some of your own sales process, please share that with us. My goal is to get scripts from great Mortgage Coach leaders like Nikki, like Josh, like Danny, Sam on the Gaylord Hanson team, Jeremy Forcier. I want to get the scripts that you're using with realtors, the scripts that you're using with borrowers, and then I want to share that with everybody in the Mortgage Coach. So a number of people have asked questions, how are we giving you these scripts? So, it's right here. I mean, you can either watch this call and stop the screen and then type these out, which, by the way, the best way to learn a script is not to cut and paste it and, add it to a presentation. It's to write it out. It's to take it, what we have, and make it yours. Make it so that it's your language. It's the spirit of your business. So one thing is, you're seeing them right now. Some of the scripts that are a work in progress, you're seeing them on my screens right now. You can literally watch back this recording and type it out, screen share it. Next week with Ken Perry, I am going to share these in a little more detail. So what I'm sharing right now is something that's a work in progress. By next week, we will break this down and we will help you guys. So as a review, you should be, every time you're meeting with a realtor, you should be explaining Mortgage Coach, for a minute or two, and you should pull out your mobile device as you explain it. So not only are you talking, you're demonstrating. You're showing how you deliver advice, how it's unique and different. We even recommend that when you leave that meeting with a realtor, what was important about mortgages to them, or they work with a lot of first-time home buyers, give them a rent versus own. As you leave the meeting, a little follow-up saying, this is what I'm going to give to all your rent versus own clients. Whatever was in the conversation, send them something tailored. And then from a Mortgage Coach standpoint, every time you have the borrower's permission and it's a TBD, you're looping in the realtor. You're CCing the realtor on that. So Nikki, do you have anything else you want to share as we wrap up today's call?
No, I don't think so.
Steve, is there anything you want to, as we go into wrap up and closing thoughts, is there anything that you want to share?
I just, every time I come on one of the calls, I'm further amazed at how much the realtor needs a mortgage professional that's a Mortgage Coach client. It's almost amazing to me that the things that we, take so much to heart here at Bridge Builders about the people should be confident in making decisions both personally and financially, and that, buying a home is about kids, it's about, the social benefits of home ownership, but also about wealth building. And, the fact that Mortgage Coach does such a great job on that, like I'm blown away every time I get on a call with you guys that, oh yeah, they could do that too, and they can do that, and wow, this is really cool too. So, just like you're getting a little deeper in your belief of Bridge Builders, I am like, all in my belief on Mortgage Coach. So I just want to congratulate everyone on the call. You have at your hands, if you're sitting in front of an agent, you have in your hands exactly what the agent needs for that consumer, and they have no other way of getting that information. So it's just a phenomenal, you're gifting the agents by doing business with them, and I really mean that. So it's just crazy to me.
Well, love it. So everybody, don't forget, next week, June 23rd, I'm going to have Kim Perry as my guest. We're going to break down TRID. We're going to talk about how, what that conversation should sound like with realtors and what you need to know to prepare. I do want to remind everybody the first 3 weeks of every month, we do a basic training at 8 a.m. and we do a more advanced training at 2 p.m. So there's mortgage coach training every single day. Tuesdays, we've got the sales call training. Every Thursday at 9 o'clock, we're drilling down on different advanced strategies, and every Friday for beginners. So there's always a place to get trained on how to use Mortgage Coach more efficiently, more effectively. Nikki, thank you so much for all the time that you took to prepare, for all the transparency that you provided. I mean, you gave the Mortgage Coach community a huge gift today. So I'm grateful, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, this call is a wrap. Yeah,
thanks, Steve.
This call is a wrap, and the video will be uploaded by the end of the day so that you can share it with your team. Any of you managers on this call, please make sure you share this with your sales force, and please share your scripts and your sales process so that as a community of mortgage coach professionals, people dedicated to helping families make the most confident decision possible, we can turn TRID into an opportunity to grow the mortgage coach community. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, Dave.
See you later, Nikki.